Healthy sugar originated in India. Valmiki Ramayana mentions sugarcane during Rama's time, saying that the animals that belonged to the exceedingly strong and illustrious warriors who were the descendants of Ikshvaku were fed with pieces of sugarcane and grain soaked in honey, duly cajoling them to eat. The events of Ramayana and Rishi Valmiki can be dated back to around 5114 BCE, which implies that even 7,000 years ago, sugarcane was known and cultivated by the people of India. Coincidentally, of the 5 main types of sugarcane grown in India traditionally, as listed by the British in the Dictionary of Economic Products of India by Sir George Watt in 1889, one is also called bhonga, bhongdya, etc., which is a white and red streaked sugarcane. Panini, who lived around 2956 BCE, that is close to Mahabharata period, about 5100 years ago, wrote Gaurasha Ong Desho Gaura, meaning Gaur is the place of Gur, that is jaggery. Gaur, Gord, Goda is a region in Bengal, including some parts of Bangladesh. But today, a few, even in India, believe sugar to have come from China, hence the name Chini. Something About Sugar, written by George M. Rolfe in 1917, tracing the history and production of sugar, traces the first Chinese record of sugar to manuscripts dating to 8th century BCE, which themselves mention that China was introduced to sugar by India. According to further Chinese records, China sent missions to India in 647 CE to learn the technique of refining sugar. The first sugar plantations of China thus came up only around 7th century CE. Looking westwards, sugarcane first reached Europe around 323 BCE. Alexander Vasco da Gama, on their return home, took sugarcane from India with them. Europeans, in their obsession to control sugar trade, went on to perpetuate slavery, indentured labor, and migration of people from India to Mauritius and other Indian Ocean islands, Fiji and other Pacific islands, West Indies and the Caribbean, Southeast Asia, East Africa, Natal, and so on. The term coolie was attached to Indians and Chinese who were taken to work on the colonies of the Europeans. The word coolie is traced etymologically to the Tamil word kuli, which means wages. To retain their trade monopoly in sugar, sugar from India, which was a higher grade sugar, was exported to Europe, and in its stead, sugar which by then had started to be produced in Egypt and China was imported into India by the Europeans. This made chini come into India from China and stayed back as the colloquial name for sugar in India. This sugar was white due to a bleaching process Egypt had discovered and later came to be regarded as a superior sugar. It is only now that the world is waking up to the ill effects of white sugar and seeking to reverse to the unbleached brown sugars that was used in India. In India, sugarcane juice was processed in many ways to yield different forms of sugar. A crystal form called kand eventually became popular as candy in English, kand in Arabic and kandi in China. Another form of larger crystals is called misri, and interestingly, it is called mishali in China. The word jaggery in English is a variation of the Sanskrit word sharkara. Sharkara became shakar in Persian, al-sukar in Arabic, azúcar in Spanish, sakcharam in Latin, zucchero in Italian, zucker in German, sucker in French, and sugar in English. An intermediary product between jaggery and sugar is called khandsari in northern India, nattu sakkarai in Tamil. It is a form of unrefined raw sugar which is rich in vitamins and minerals. It is different from brown sugar and is a stage much before that of brown sugar. Thus, India has been the home for sugar from time immemorial. India's tryst with sugarcane and sugar goes way back by many millennia. The home of knowledge, wisdom and philosophy for thousands of years. This is amazing India.